What is going on, everyone? In today's episode, we're going to talk about Bryce Harper and this contract extension talk. Yes, Bryce Harper is one of the best players in baseball, but over the last few years, he has struggled to stay healthy, and now he's requesting that the Phillies not only extend him, but the contract that he already signed, they want to kind of renegotiate those terms and give him a brand new contract. In today's episode, we're going to break down the contract, whether or not it's worth it for this Phillies organization, and whether or not they should extend Bryce Harper, who is looking to play into his 40s. Let's check it out. All right, everybody, check out the screen. This is Bryce Harper's current contract. 13 years, $330 million with a $20 million signing bonus, and an annual salary value of about $25 million. He's already served 5 years of the 13-year deal. There's still a lot of contract left to play out for Bryce Harper, and the last 2 years he's been banged up a little bit, and then he had to move from right field to first base. So 13 years, $330 million. He signed until year 38 age for Bryce Harper. I don't know, guys. He's averaging about, $25 to $26 million per year. And then once he turns 36, the 2029 season, those deals are $22, $22, and $22 million. There haven't really been too many successful players that have played into their 40s. If you look at that Albert Pujols contract to compare Bryce Harper's contract to Albert Pujols, the last 6-7 years of that contract were quite the arbitrage. They didn't get a lot of value from Pujols the last 6 years of that deal. And not only did he slow down at the plate, he slowed down on the bases. Physically, he was really, really slow. I mean, he doesn't really do a lot. Bryce Harper, he's a little bit more of a complete player than a guy like Albert Pujols, but I don't know, man. Is he a little underpaid at $26 million per year? Probably a little bit, but $330 million is a lot of money. I could see him possibly renegotiating the back half of this contract if he wants to get paid a little more money, or renegotiate the next 3 or 4 years of the contract where he's making 26, maybe give him a raise to $30 million per year and bump the 22 up to 25, 26. That makes a lot more sense than extending this contract way out into his 40s. Let the contract play out a little bit. We haven't even been through half of his 13-year contract. 13 years, $330 million. That's a lot of risk, man. Who knows how Bryce Harper is going to play the next few years after the Tommy John surgery? Will he continue to hit? Will he play more than, 100, 120 games? If we move over to his statistics, since he signed this 13-year deal, at 26 years of age, he's put up pretty good numbers. But the last 2 years, his 29 and 30-year seasons, so numbers, guys. They're not, you know what I mean? He hasn't hit over 25 home runs since 2021. He hasn't hit over 40 home runs at all during the duration of this contract. He's not putting up monster numbers. He's putting up good numbers. But numbers good enough to warrant an extension on a 13-year contract that's going to pay him up until, if you look at this, until his 38 years of age season, and he wants to play into his 40s, okay, let's see how you make it to 35. If you could continue to play at this level at 35, 36 years of age, extend Bryce Harper. But to just extend him because he wants more money, like $330 million isn't enough, dude, you have enough money, man. Let's see if you can bounce back from this injury. Let's see if you can play 140 games, 130 games, and over 120. And the year before that, 90 plus games. He's been injured a lot, guys. He's been injured a lot. And I think if I'm the GM of the Phillies, I'm not extending him past that 38 age season. I'm willing to renegotiate some of the years, maybe later in the contract. This year, Harper's getting paid $26 million. If he comes out and performs really well, and we know that injury is in the past, okay, the next 3 years of the deal, maybe we bump up the $26 million per season up to $30. And then maybe If they're feeling really generous, bump the $22 million up to 25 or 26. But to extend him into 40, 41, 42 years of age season, it makes no sense. Because Father Time is undefeated. He is not going to be the same player at 38, 39, and 40 that he is in 31, 32, 33. So if he's thinking he's going to be making $30, $35 million past 35, I think he's out of his goddamn mind. He's very valuable to the Phillies. And I want him to stay in a Phillies uniform for the rest of his career. But I think not even playing half of your contract, and of those, 5 years that you played, 2 of them, you didn't play over 125 games. And the 1 year was a COVID year. You got to kind of throw that out. But 3 out of the 5 years, you know what I mean? I don't know why he thinks he's so deserving of extra money. I mean, he had a decent year last year. 900 OPS. 21 home runs, 72 RBIs. That's not a ton of production. It's really not. His OPS is great, but he's not driving in a lot of runs. He's not hitting a lot of home runs. Extra base hits, only 29 doubles, 21 home runs, 72 RBIs. You're not worth $35 million a year, bro. You're just not. And until you prove that you are and the injuries are behind you, if I'm the GM of the Phillies, if I'm Dave Dombrowski and the ownership with the Phillies, John Middleton, I am not backing the truck up for Bryce Harper, a guy who's been injured throughout his entire career. If you look at his career, guys, how many times has he played over 140 games? Once when he was 22, once when he was 23, once when he was 25, and then once at 26, and he hasn't played over 141 games since. So, pre-25, you're a young kid, man. You should be playing 140, 150 games. If he was getting injured that much in his mid to early 20s, how much injuries is he going to endure in his mid to late 30s? Probably a shit ton. Look at Mike Trout and all the money that they're paying him. To extend him now makes absolutely no sense. So if I'm the GM of the Phillies, I'm like, yo, dude, go out, prove it to me. Prove it to the Phillies fan base that you're 100% healthy and you can hit 40 home runs. You can drive in 90 to 110 runs. Look at Ryan Howard's numbers back in the day. He was driving in 145 runs a year. He was hitting 45, 50 home runs. Harper, you're hitting 21 home runs, dude. There's like 50 guys in Major League Baseball that are doing that or better. To ask for more money and more years is legitimately crazy to me. I'm not doing it. I want to see him this year and possibly next year put up better numbers. I love Bryce Harper, but I want to make sure that he's healthy, man. It's a huge risk of a contract already, paying him until year 38, $22 million per year. In that 35, 36, 37, all those years he's paying, the Phillies are paying him a lot of money. And I just don't think it makes sense from a business perspective to extend him right now. Let me know in the comments below. If you are the GM of the Phillies, are you extending Bryce Harper? Are you going to pay him more money for the years he's already signed? He's got a lot of time left on his contract, guys. We're entering age 31, and he's signed until age 38. There's a lot of time in there. A lot can go wrong. And if the production isn't there, if you're hitting 20-ish home runs and driving in 70, 75 runs, I'm not giving you more money, dude. I'm not doing it. I don't think the Phillies should do it. I think they should let this year play out. Go to the negotiation tables later because sure as shit, if he doesn't hit really well and doesn't produce, he's not going to take less money. So why do you feel obligated to pay him more money? I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. Prove it. Prove you can pay 130, 140 games in a year. Prove you can hit 30 home runs and drive in about 100. Then I'll pay you more money. Then I'll consider extending you maybe a year or two past year 38, 39, and age 40. But I'm not paying you into your age 40s unless you can prove that in your 35, 36, 37 season that you could still be a productive major league player. Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.